Hello! I thought that today I would give a little behind the scenes look at some of the stuff that I've been doing. There's also some other videos on my YouTube channel that you can take a look at, but I thought I would just share the kind of where I have left things for the month of August. So here we have my most recent illustration. I am as caught up as I can be for this book. So this illustration is down here. I'm not able to move forward on a few of the illustrations because they're ones that include Jesus, and we still haven't totally decided on how we want to portray him yet. So not going to move forward until we get some pretty solid feedback about how to do that. But yeah, so far, all of the illustrations I have done have featured Rixmay and her real life and her imagination. So she's got a lot of fearful imaginings, and she's just afraid all of the time, and she doesn't know what to do about it. So this program here, this isn't what the final product is going to look like per se, but I really like to have everything laid out and to sort of envision what it might look like. This is what I've done. I'm using Affinity Publisher 2. I really like the Affinity suite. It's like a Photoshop Adobe suite that you don't have to subscribe to. You can just purchase. So what I do is, once I've painted the illustrations, and then I take them into Affinity Photo, and let's see here, I'll hide these layers. This is what this final one looked like without any editing. As you can see, it's really dark. So I always add a levels adjustment to lighten it up, and then I add the pencils that I previously scanned to like reinsert the pencils. And then for this one, I also added a little bit of color because she's supposed to be behind a screen, so I thought the blacks of their hair were too black, so I added just a tiny bit of pink. And then I also just thought, oh, it's just too pink, so I made it sort of blue. So those are the kind of edits that I do in Affinity Photo. And then once that's done, I put the JPEG into this file. We have 54 pages in this book, which is quite a lot, actually. I've had how many illustrations? 25 illustrations to work on. Anyway, so yeah. So going through the book, I have been quite happy with the consistency. Here's my favorite 2 illustrations. Whoop, awesome. And I'm just happy with the overall look. I think this might be one of my favorite books I've illustrated so far, even though I've liked all of them, but it's just kind of neat to I don't know, keep growing as an artist. So I'm looking forward to getting some feedback. We want to hearken to the spiritual imagery of Cambodia, which would be very impacted by Buddhism and Hinduism. But we don't want to fall into the trap of promoting Buddhism or Hinduism. That's not the point of this. So that kind of stuff I just need help with by somebody who lives there. So we'll see how it goes. The point of the book, though, is that Jesus Christ, the Christian God, is someone who can take away your fear. So we end the book with her being able to encounter the things that used to scare her with less fear than before. So my idea was that Jesus would be kind of walking with her, but in a sort of see-through way. But what if that meant he looked too much like a ghost? Would that be bad? I don't know. I'm going to leave that to somebody else to figure out. And then I've already given my suggestions, and hopefully they will prompt some reactions. And then at the end of the book, there's some discussion questions that people can use. So I'm as caught up as I can be. Now my leader's going to be bringing this product that we've made so far to the Y Together conference and hopefully getting some good feedback from people who work in Cambodia or perhaps are Cambodian and understand this kind of stuff. I am happy to say that means I'm finishing off for now at around 80%, which is great. That means that those final pages, those gospel pages, are the final 20%. So please pray that the gospel message that we present in this book would be clear and just a really good bridge between the heart of a child and the gospel of Christ. These children, all children, have fears. Children in Cambodia would have different fears perhaps than children in North America, though probably some of the same ones too. And Jesus is for all of those children. Jesus is for all people. So we want them to be able to know Jesus. We don't want anything to distract from who Jesus is. This is probably the first children's book like this ever. Maybe. If there is another one, it'd be cool to see. I'd love to compare notes. But we just really want this to show that Jesus is for them. He's not like, we don't want to say Jesus is for Americans, but you can also know about him through translated material. Like, we just want this to be very curated, I suppose, for Cambodian people. So let's hope that we get some good feedback about how to include Jesus in this book. It's always really tricky knowing how to portray Jesus visually because what we see with our eyes can be so distracting to realities of the heart, the invisible realities that God can see. So ultimately, these kinds of projects are all about trying to grow, try to give a foundation for the invisible truths of God in a person's life through words and visuals. We can't depend on the words and visuals because they're just pictures and words, but we can depend on the Holy Spirit to speak to people, and that is what I intend to do. So please also pray that just in general that these kinds of projects that we make that the Holy Spirit would be involved in the communication process. Anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to say about that. Here, I also tried to do a little subtle PSA that people should use mosquito nets so they don't get malaria. So not everybody has one, but I hope that someday nobody in Cambodia will have to worry about malaria. That's a kind of an aside. Please use mosquito nets if you live in a place with mosquitoes and malaria. That's that. So please continue to pray. Your prayers are just as important as this product because God listens and he answers the prayers of his sons and daughters. So I just want to, just one more time, please pray that the gospel part of this book would be done well, like accurately and truthfully, that we wouldn't accidentally misrepresent Jesus in any way, but that the things that children in Cambodia need to know about Jesus would be revealed in this book. Also, please pray that my leader, who will be at this conference, it's a really cool conference. There's going to be a lot of networking between missionaries of all different kind of countries. Please pray that she will be able to make some good connections. It's in the first part of, I can't remember the exact dates, but the first part of September. I'll put it in text on the screen. And also please pray that, that the Holy Spirit would speak through these evangelistic efforts. We know that we're everybody who's trying to tell the gospel. We plant and sow, but God waters and He causes the plants to grow. So that is my prayer. Really, He's the one doing the real work, but I want to be part of just the obeying part of His work. So yeah, those three things. Thank you so much for being part of my ministry newsletter, and I hope that you are getting as excited about this book as I am. I'm just so happy with how it's turned out so far. It doesn't actually look like this because it's going to be in Khmer. It's not going to be in English. But this is my version. I'm excited for how it looks here, and I pray that it will spread far and wide and be a blessing to the people who read it. All right, that's enough for me. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day.